Hi everyone, it's Linda with the Intuitive Painting of the Week for the week of May 14th, and this one's called Escaping the Dream. So if you've kind of felt yourself caught in a cycle or struggling to figure out how to make life work for you, this one's for you, a little bit of insight into that. And if you'd like a more in-depth and more personalized intuitive painting created, go on over to Artsy Apothecary and schedule some time with me, and we'll talk and we'll get an image going that will give you some clarity, but also give you something to visualize your dream for manifestation. So I hope you enjoy this week's video. Please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Have a great week. Alright, so let's take a look here. The first image that came through was this bird here, and the message that came to me with this was flying blindly. So it looks to me like the bird is, rather than like catching, this almost looks like a koi, like a fish. And so the bird, almost like catching its prey or catching a fish for dinner, it's like got smacked in the face by it. And I feel like that's a metaphor for how some of us might be feeling with this pursuit of our dreams. And the title that came to me for the piece is Escaping the Dream. So if we're looking at it in context of, like the American dream, not that it's exclusive to Americans, but like the idea that everyone should have a certain level of prosperity and the things that we should idealize as the way to live a happy life. It's like this bird is kind of, it missed the mark, it missed the, it's not quite working out and kind of got smacked in the face by it. So it feels like this story that it's telling is, you know, it's got these little thought bubble kind of thing. So it's like the idea of what the perfect life should be, or how prosperity should come to us, or how health and wellness should come to us, or relationships, or all those ideals. In the first, when the images started showing themselves, this bird was the first one, and it was kind of like this idea of peace and prosperity, but getting like blinded by it. And then the second image that came up, it kind of makes this like triad here. So the second image that came up if you watch the time lapse, you'll see that this figure here was a dark, and it was part of this red-orange fiery kind of thing. So again, with the red and orange being related to like survival and that root and creating, what are we creating? And then it came up and it was almost tied. There was like this right here was almost like a leash coming up and tied to this dragon's breath, like the fire coming out of this dragon's head. And I'll turn it a little bit so maybe it'll be clearer. And the dragon itself isn't super defined. It's kind of like this, excuse me, kind of like this, like it's part of the background, or it's part of, so that's telling me it's kind of like it's an idea. It's part of this bubble. The lines that make it up are part of this bubble here. It's like the dragon of indoctrination, or the dragon of those thoughts that fuel our feeling like, and at the time the feet were part of it, so the figure was kind of stuck in it. It was like consumed, and then it became more and more consumed by the fire of these ideas, of the fire of the ideas of the dream, cycling and kind of overlapping or blinding this bird. It was like getting all caught up in it. So the figure was getting all caught up in it, became very orange and red, and then the orange and red extended beyond the figure and actually became, it looked like it was on fire, and then I was inspired to grab yellow, and adding in the yellow defined the fire into wings. So what that's saying to me is that when we're consumed by this concept of what the perfect life should be, and getting consumed by the drive and desire for survival and prosperity and wellness and all those things that but it's fueled by this idea that other people or society or wherever we got the information, but it's not coming from us. We kind of get trapped in it and we get blinded by it. But then we add in this golden yellow, which to me is saying like solar plexus chakra, like our personal drive, our personal will and identity. It's an interesting thing that's coming up in my mind, is reminding me of the concept of willpower. Like there was a time when I quit smoking and it really sunk into me. It wasn't, willpower isn't about stopping ourselves from doing things. It's willing ourselves to do something better. And that's what it feels like to me. So like that personal will towards something better that drives us out of, like, towards something better and away from something that is not serving us. And that's what this feels like. The yellow came in and it defined the feet, and the knees seem very prominent in this figure, meaning movement and flexibility and the ability to walk and move. But it actually has wings, so it can just kind of fly. And the triangle shape that's coming not just between these three images, but that kind of radiates out of this figure that goes beyond it. It goes beyond this conceptual dream and envisions something bigger. That's what this yellow triangle is, coming from that solar plexus, from the personal identity, from the personal will and desire for self-actualization, is radiating out, and that's what's escaping the dream. So the title that was given to me for this entire image is Escaping the Dream. And ironically, it's our own personal vision for ourselves that we define that helps us to escape this cycle of getting trapped in the illusion, because this is just an illusion, it's a thought, It's an illusion of how things are done, how life is, how we are to be successful in our lives. And by identifying, excuse me, by identifying what our true desires and what our true will is for ourselves, because that's always aligned with the greater good. But what really is going to allow our light to shine from our heart, and look how much brighter that white is from the bird. It's, you know, we may be seeking this peace and prosperity, but it's like dulled because it's not really coming from how we know ourselves to be as in our divine center of who we are. It's coming from the dream itself, which is actually kind of this nightmare. And so it's not a fulfilling and meaningful dream if it's coming from someone else or some other idea. So that's pretty much what this whole thing is saying. It's escaping the dream that's given to us and kind of fed to us or fueled by others or society or indoctrination or wherever we get the messages. Identifying what's truly core to who we are and allowing us to fly with clear, it's almost radiant, this clear insights, understanding who we are and what we want. And that's what radiates outside. The triangle representing our visions and dreams is moving outside this cycle, and you know, not flying blindly or getting blinded by our pursuit of what we think is prosperity. That's what's so interesting about the shape. It's not a fish. It kind of looks like a koi, which could be a symbol of prosperity, but it's actually not. It's just a misty orange thing that maybe the bird thought was some food or something like that, and then got smacked in the face by it. So that's kind of, so if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like you're getting smacked in the face when you're trying to accomplish your dreams, it may be that you're in a cycle of a dream that is somebody else's dream and somebody else's idea of what success means. So define your own idea of what success is and let it radiate. You have to take action except to just really get clear about who you are and what you want and let it radiate out from you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe what else you see, or if this resonates with you or doesn't, let me know in the comments, and I will see you there.